Hello, people of YouTube, once again. I am, again, thrilled that you have decided to join me for not one, not two, but possibly three sessions of the John Johson Chronicles. I made a little change, as you can see. This time, I just put the names of the chapters that we'll be going through. Not the names, the numbers of the chapters we'll be going through, instead of a part. And we're just going to jump right into it, honestly. If you're curious as to what has happened before and you haven't been here, go check out part 1 and 2. I'm going to be making a playlist of all of them. And they also will be on the title card at the end of this video, or the end card. So let's get into it. Chapter 7. The Almighty Flashlight. JJ hit the ground with fool speed and went into a majestic shoulder roll. The judges gave JJ's pole vault roll a 2/3 of a star. From his fanny pack, he whipped out his trusty shake-weight cannon. Since he had no shake-weights handy, he loaded it with 5, count 'em, 5, X-rated toys. Suddenly, JJ realized that it was not his cannon he held, but a flashlight. And instead of 5 X-rated toys, there were actually 6. JJ needed to put the raging fire that was Walmart out. But how? Well, it would happen that one of the X-rated toys JJ had handy was equipped with a realistic squirt action. This, along with his voluptuous amount of fireproof armpit hair, allowed him to fend off the flames and send them back into the depths of hell. I think that word's okay to say. JJ climbed through the rubble, frantically searching for Jeff. Alas, it was too late. Jeff was long gone, a burnt pile of pickles. JJ ate one of the pickles. He liked it. He ate another. JJ suddenly began choking, and Heimlich maneuvered himself over the nearest corpse. Somehow, some way, the body was that of the unsuspecting man. He was back for revenge. Except he was already dead, so he couldn't get his revenge. JJ started walking home and realized that someone spooky was staring at him from behind a curtained window in a spooky house he was walking past. He had to investigate. JJ grasped his flashlight and threw it football style directly at the window. JJ got an A- in throwing things class. It shattered, and he climbed in. Whoever the spooky individual was, all they left behind was a packet of slightly stale ointment, whatever the heck that means. Anti-stag beetle ointment, the worst kind. JJ picked it up and applied it to every square inch of his body, except his ankle, so that he could be like Achilles. He felt invincible and went to go try out his new invincibility. So, he dashed to the nearest skyscraper and grappled to the top. Standing on the uppermost balcony, JJ jumped off. He assumed the pencil dive position and braced for impact. Landing on a lower building, JJ broke out into a mild jog. As he was about to jump yet again at the edge of the building, his foot snagged something. It was the flashlight. JJ went barreling down into the cityscape, which was covered in stag beetles. Chapter 8. Screw that ointment. The sheer number of stag beetles, an ocean 4 meters deep of them, broke JJ's fall. It felt like falling onto a million small jagged pillows, but JJ knew he would be safe because of the anti-stag beetle ointment he had previously applied. This ointment worked so well, in fact, that it simultaneously murdered every last stag beetle, except one single one on JJ's ankle. This single beetle would feed off JJ for the next 5 minutes, allowing it to grow to 10,003 times its original size. Somebody called 911, and pretty soon the NYPD was swarming around the beetle and the wounded JJ like ants. The officers were all shouting in chorus phrases such as, "This issue's now over," and "Put your hands where I can see 'em," and "Pull over, a-hole." The beetle began swinging its legs asunder, not hands, pummeling cop after cop. JJ grabbed his ankle with his left hand, took out a syringe with his right hand, and injected his ankle. It instantly healed. JJ sprung up and ran for it, almost as if he was a gosh darn gazelle being pursued by a beautiful lioness. But, like most gazelles, they do not run fast enough to escape the much faster lioness. The beetle sprang after JJ, toppling skyscraper after skyscraper along the way. Thankfully, JJ turned a corner and found himself at the International Bug Spray Convention, of which thousands of bug spray enthusiasts attend annually. We all know of it, of course. Hearing the giant footsteps of the stag beetle well before it arrived, the conventionists were ready. They were armed with everything from handheld bug spray cans to Gatling guns that shoot bug spray in bullet form to their very own Navy, which was equipped with the most recent breakthroughs in bug spray technology. After hours of high-intensity beetle-on-sprayer action, Cousin Phyllis, president of the convention, who isn't related to JJ whatsoever, ripped off his flannel shirt and exposed a C4 pack strapped to his nipple area. Except it wasn't C4, it was a lot of bug spray. Phyllis chanted, "Murica!" and beelined toward the beetle. In an act of sacrifice to be remembered throughout the ages, Phyllis ended his life to vanquish the beetle. A statue of Cousin Phyllis was built in the middle of the road outside the convention 2 minutes after this spiel. All was well. Chapter 9. It's go time. I did forget to put this in as a side note. It's Go Time was a huge inside joke that me and my friends had made at band camp one time. That's not a meme. I swear it's true. But yeah. The convention hall reeked of bug spray and rednecks, so JJ wanted out. So he left. "Gee, it sure has been a long day," said JJ, noticing his watch displayed 3 o'clock p.m. But wait, it didn't say 3 o'clock p.m. It displayed in bold print, "Go Time." JJ initiated sequence B Money 4-0. JJ assumed the position, taking out his gun and singing along to the secret agent music that was now playing. He called in his trusty dusty, extremely dusty, gyrocopter and flew directly to the Pentagon. Hovering above the building, JJ grappled down and infiltrated the secret depths of the U.S. Military Central. The area flooded with copious amounts of dust from his copter. And this is a joke, by the way, FBI, if you're listening. JJ did not really do this. The plan was working. The dusty air revealed the complex system of red-hot laser beams guarding the main vault. Using his expert spy skills, which were, at this point, over level 26, he ran straight through the lasers. They were just for show, to confuse the trespassers. JJ climbed a beginner's level rock climbing wall up to the vault and said the magic words, "Wanker soda only on Tuesdays." The door opened and he could not believe his eyes. Chapter 10. Willy Boy. It was Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. And there was Charlie, 10 years after the events of the movie. Since he now lived in the chocolate factory, Charlie ate a lot of chocolate. He was over 1,300 pounds. His DNA had also become 92% chocolate. That was good enough for JJ. He ate Charlie whole. The problem was, JJ remembered he scored a 45% on his last math test. Charlie was actually made of 92% chocolate, Mexicanese for arsenic. I think I said that right. I mean, it's not real. JJ began convulsing on the ground, foaming at the mouth, whilst writhing around in what he found out later to be chocolate-coated feces. Willy Wonka never sold that chocolate product, contrary to popular belief. JJ decided to give it a try. He actually liked it. He decided he wanted to be a salesman like Willy Loman and sell these newfound treats. His first round of selling, he traveled to his grandmama's house. Her name was Williford, or Willy for short. She bought 1 whole boxes of chocolate-covered feces. JJ asked his gram who else would like to buy chocolate. She said nothing, and simply pointed east whilst uttering unintelligible, almost disturbing nonsense. Picture that one in your head. JJ, now called Willy, gotten his Studebaker, and floored it east. That's a type of car. Hitting several other Willys on the way. After about a mile, Willy approached the most grandiose shack he hath ever laid eyes on. It was the house of the esteemed Bill the Will Gates. Gates kicked his door down the second he heard the Studebaker approaching his driveway. He shouted, "Give me all your chocolate, now or never." Bill bought 4,056,208 boxes of chocolate-covered feces, valued at $28.6 billion. Willy was now rich as F. Except Willy was not a rich man's name. So, he changed it to Jamerson Joel Matude, or JJ for short. Chapter 11. Right in the Corneas. JJ had no use for the money, so he bought a couple of packs of heavy-duty salts and burned the rest of the money, while chanting, "I ain't taking none of this here shite." JJ prepared to finally return home, bath salts in hand. Could this be the end? Was JJ's tale complete? No. Upon seeing JJ with heavy-duty bath salts, the local hoodlums swarmed him. Armed with toothbrushes and roller skates, they proceeded to brush his teeth and smash his corneas with the roller skates until he gave them the bath salts. His life flashing before his now blinded eyes, he remembered the most important event of his life, the invasion of Normandy Beach in World War II. It went sort of like this. As the U-boats approached the shorelines of Normandy, JJ, called simply Jenkins, JJ for short at the time, was in a massive argument with his friend, Private. JJ thought the U-boats should actually be called V-boats, and Private thought JJ must have been severely stupid or just insane. Out of nowhere, Private was shot and killed. Rip and rip. JJ belched loudly and yelled, "Darn you, Gerbmans!" They shouted, "Doom come!" in retaliation and opened fire at the invading allies. Too bad for the Germans, because they said that too slowly. So slow, in fact, that it took them over a year to say it. World War II was already over. After realizing this, they realized that JJ saved their lives. If they didn't yell at JJ, they would have died defending those beaches. They vowed that one day, when JJ's life was on the line, they'd repay the favor and save his. And this brings us back to JJ, on the brink of death, being pummeled for his bath salts. Then, out of a wooden box in the neighboring alley, the 2.38 97-year-old German soldiers bursted out and annihilated the attaching hoodlums. They had fulfilled their favor to JJ and turned into dust. A single acidic tear rolled down JJ's bleeding face. That tear, using the power within JJ, restored his vision. But his salts were destroyed in the scrap between the Germans and hoodlums. He had to find more. That should be it for today. Yep, it is. Okay, so that was, I think, chapter 7 through 11. I'm hoping everybody's enjoying this. If you are, again, stick around. There will be more. I'm certainly enjoying reading this for everybody. So, I don't think I've said this yet, but if you've enjoying this, consider giving the video a like, maybe a subscription to my channel. I'm new. I barely have any subscribers, but I do plan on keeping this up, maybe even writing more stories in the future. I appreciate everybody for giving this a listen. I will see you all next time. Thank you.